Good day, everybody. I am going to go over for our safety training today, back safety. So this shouldn't take very long, but it is something that's very important. Not only for, your back and your safety, but the safety of others. So if you see somebody trying to lift something that's too heavy for them, suggest to them this is probably not the best thing for you to be doing by yourself, and offer to help. If it also seems too heavy, then you want to go ahead and find somebody else or find a device. But first, let's go over everything. And then after this, if you have any questions, feel free to call me, WhatsApp, anything like that. Okay, so let's begin. Sorry, I took both pages. First page. It's basically just a page, and it's going to ask a bunch of questions. So we'll go over this. Like I said, it shouldn't take too long. I might do some demonstrations, or I will do some demonstrations, and then we'll kind of go from there. Why is it important to bend the knees when lifting? Again, that is for your back. Your back has a lot of muscles in it, but at the same time, it bends and it contorts, and you can really injure yourself. Whereas your legs, I hope you can hear that, they're a lot firmer. So you bend and lift with your legs. I will demonstrate. This box right here that I'm going to lift is empty, so it's not heavy at all. I made sure of that because, when I set it down on the chair, though, I'll try to demonstrate how you should do it. But I have a cord right here running to my computer, so it might not be the best. But you'd want to stand straight up and not twist. See, that's something you don't want to do. You want to stay straight. So here is the object in question, a box. Now, the correct way of lifting a box is as such. You bend your legs. It's hard to see. I've got my legs bent. I'm going to go down, keep my back straight. I'm going to lift up. That is the correct way of lifting a box. Now, there are several other ways. You don't know what's in this box. It could be really heavy. And some people just go ahead and pick it up and they do whatever they want. What's going to happen then is that's going to throw your back out. It's really not good. So again, always just take your time, lift with your legs straight up, and take it to wherever the appropriate spot is that you need to move it to. And then set it down in that appropriate area. So I'm going to lift with my legs, even though it's empty and very light, and set it over there. Again, twisting is not something that you want to do very much of. Twisting is not good while you're lifting. It just, again, it can throw your back out. Number 2, why is it important to not hold an object in front of your face when carrying it? Well, again, if I had this box and it's right here, that's precarious. You can't see. You don't know exactly what's going on. And here you have a box right in front of your face. And that's not good for several parts of your back to be holding it like that. You want to hold it at your core, which is right here, like kind of under the sternum. That's your core. You want to make sure you're holding it there. Number 3, why is it important not to reach for an object when you're trying to pick it up? Again, that's the twisting. I'm just going to move over here, and then you grab it, and then you kind of come back and say, and you don't know how heavy it is. I mean, it could be really heavy, and suddenly you're like, ooh, that did not feel good. You want to make sure that you're straight. you move over to the object and pick it up from there. You don't want to twist and bend and things like that. I mean, limit that as much as possible. And again, if you can't, then ask for somebody else's help. Is it better to push or pull a cart or other object, and why? Well, it's better to push a cart than to pull a cart. I mean, pushing, you have a lot more control. Pulling, it's kind of like backing out a car. Or other object. I mean, most of the time, say you're using a dolly. I don't have anything to show you this right now. But, once you get it back, and a lot of times, again, if it's too heavy, you want to ask for somebody's help. You get it down, and then you just kind of want to push. You have a lot more control when you're pushing it. Whereas if you're pulling it, you can't see behind you. And then that can be very dangerous. So the best thing to do is to push. If an object seems too heavy to lift by yourself, what should you do? You should ask for somebody else's help. Always. Oh, apologize. Don't worry about asking for help. If it's too heavy to lift, don't try to do it on your own. Always ask for help. If you can't find help, wait. Maybe stand by the object, but do not attempt to do something that you don't feel is safe. Especially if something's really too heavy. Nobody needs to be a show-off in these situations. It's best to be safe. Always. Safety is always number one. If you happen to notice the trash can in the restroom is overflowing with paper towels, what should you do? Well, what should you do? What you should do is you should get your PPE, personal protective equipment, put on gloves, things like that, and take it out to the trash. And then replace the liner of the trash when you're done. If it's the office where we work, most of the time you should alert Spring or another person in management and let them know, hey, this is overflowing. Can I help with it? If they say no, we've got it. If not, if they say yes, please, then go ahead. And again, always use your PPE, your personal protective equipment. You don't know what's in trash, so it's best to have gloves on whenever you're, taking trash out to a trash can. But you don't want all that to spill all over the floor either. It is our responsibility to make sure that we're all safe together. Okay, if there's water on the restroom floor, what should you do? Well, you should immediately notify someone. Just let them know, hey, there's water on the floor. I'm not going to let anyone in the bathroom right now until we make sure that everything's okay. Because you could slip, anybody could slip. But you need to notify someone. Make sure that someone knows that there's water on the floor. Ask if you can help again. If not, wait, and they will actually block off the bathroom because that's the best thing. And you should always put a sign down. A sign saying, please do not walk here. It's wet. You could slip and you could really hurt yourself. And that protects you, that protects everyone else. So that's the best thing to do in that situation. If there are boxes in front of a door, why could it pose a danger? Well, if somebody's coming out of that door and they knock everything over, there's all sorts. Yes, it could definitely pose a danger. We should never leave boxes just right in front of a door. You don't know what's exactly going on there. So again, you want to alert someone, but yes, it could definitely pose a danger. Somebody could be coming out of that, trip, hit something, hit the boxes definitely, and they could hurt themselves. And you could be in that same situation, so we all have to watch out for each other. Why is it important to walk as opposed to run while at the program or when out in the community? Well, slips, trips, and falls. Those are the main things that happen when we're not being safe. And when we're running, you have a much greater incidence of actually slipping, tripping, or falling. And so it's best to walk. It doesn't mean don't run. It just means please walk. It's a lot safer and things like that. There's no real reason to run at any time unless it's really dangerous, like you're jumping out in traffic to pull somebody away. But in our lives, how many times does that really happen? Probably 0. So walk. Safest thing to do. Also, it exercises patience. Yeah. Why is it important to watch where we are walking, to be aware of our surroundings, and to be observant? Again, that's for everyone. It's not just for you. Anything could be lying on the ground. It could be a trip hazard. It might be, we've gone over different things when it comes to evacuating building because there's a backpack left and we're supposed to contact the office and let them know, like, nobody's said anything about this backpack. So be observant of everything around you because anything is a potential danger. The only way we can limit that is by actually being diligent and making sure that we report it, or that we, if it's just anything, like a banana peel, like in the cartoons, but it's not funny. Somebody could actually slip on that. Just, pick it up, throw it away. With gloves on. I have gloves? Right there. Ask somebody for gloves. What could happen if we hit others or roughhouse? Well, we see this a lot. Everyone, especially some people that I'm thinking of right now, I'm not going to name names, but when we're in the parking lot and there are cars driving around and we're all deciding what activity to do, and people are pushing and things like that, and they're having fun, or at least it's fun for them, it causes a hazard. Somebody could really get hurt. And things, as I think we've really noticed from this pandemic, people don't take things seriously until something bad actually happens. And we need to make sure that bad things aren't happening. That's our job. I'm sorry, if you're helping bake cookies for a snack or to sell for fundraising, what should you always use to take the hot cookies sheets out of the oven? Hot pads. Put them on your hands, take them out, and set them down on other hot pads so it doesn't burn the surface. And wait until it cools down. When you're done cooking or heating something on the stove, what you must always remember to do with the burner, turn it off. Always turn it off. You leave it on too long, you might put something else on there. That is a fire hazard. You don't want to do that. After warming your lunch in the microwave, you should be careful removing it. Why and how would you be careful? Well, again, things come out of the microwave. They could have boiled over. I've seen it before with people heating up their lunches. And you could get burned. And it could really hurt. There are different types of burns. And you need to be careful. That's why you always want to make sure it's covered. You want to follow the instructions on what you're heating. Alright, so here's our next one. Last page. Then we're done. Okay, so it's a questionnaire. Is it better to slouch or sit up straight? Well, that just reminds me to sit up straight. It's better to sit up straight. My grandma always taught me that. Sometimes she had me put my arm behind my back and stand that way. It keeps your vertebrae straight. Because sometimes there's curvature of the spine, and you don't really want that. A nice straight back. So sit up straight. It's important for your back. Name 5 things you can do to keep your back pain free and in good shape. Let's see. 1, exercise. 2, lift correctly. 3, sit up straight when you're sitting. 4, I'm getting lost here. What could be the 4th one? Oh, whoa. Again, lift properly. And 5, sleep correctly. Sleep on your back or on your side. And those are 5 things you can definitely do in order to help your back. But exercise is probably the most important out of those. The more you exercise, the better it is for your back. Which of the following exercises are good for your back? It has a list of all of them. Let me get in close. And it says walking, swimming, riding an exercise bicycle, stretching, bent sit-ups, going on rides at Great America, running a marathon in high heels, sleeping a lot, and playing a lot of video games. Well, some of these are giveaways, most of them. So walking, yes, definitely good. Swimming, good, very good. Riding an exercise bicycle, good. Stretching, that could go another 5 things to stay in good shape. Bent knee sit-ups, that's good. Going rides at Great America, not necessarily good. Running a marathon in high heels, don't do that. The idea of that. Sleeping a lot, you just sleep your allotted 8 hours. Too much, and your body becomes to get lazy and could atrophy, and your muscles have a tougher time actually recuperating. And playing a lot of video games, again, being active is a lot more important than playing video games. If you have back pain while sleeping, what can you do to ease the pain? Again, sleeping on your back or on your side, not on your stomach. That's the best thing you can do. For people who use a wheelchair and have back pain, what can they do to help relieve their pain? The main thing that I know is from working with individuals that do require wheelchairs, it's ROM, or range of motion, is making sure you get out of the wheelchair a good amount of the time. I mean, probably every morning, twice a day when you're at program, again, at least once when you go home. But exercising that range of motion, stretching out your legs, things like that, but getting out of your chair and exercising your range of motion exercises is very important. It's very good for your body, and it should happen quite a bit. So there it is. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, I welcome them. And if not, I hope to see you all soon, as I always say. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Ciao.